the Irish guy and... What? Nothing's different. What are you on about?
Oh, Irish guy, what have you done with the backdrop?
What? You mean the cave that's been upside down on my wall for years? Nah, lads, I'm sorry. You're gonna see me eat this in front of you. Yeah. It ain't coming back. Oh, that tastes like absolute puke. Lads, this is the Prem catch-up. Looking at the Premier League results from the weekend. And, let's just see what happened. Right, let's go. Oh, yeah, and, FNG is the most elusive man on the planet. Check your DMs. I didn't send you anything weird, I promise. I might have sent him something weird. Right, let's go. Leicester 1, Chelsea 2. Okay, lads, before I touch on the latest shock sack, can we just play the clip?
I'm also going to go for a Chelsea win. 2-1 Chelsea win. Goals from Nonny Madwake and Nicholas Jackson. Look, you know what's really strange? Both me and Alfie are agreeing on Jordan Ayew to get a goal.
Are you for real? Not only did I correctly guess that Chelsea would win 2-1, but I even said that Jordan Ayew would score. And the comments were not pleased when I did.
Ayew scoring from the injury room is impressive. Ayew is injured, so good luck with that one. Never underestimate the unpredictability of stupidity.
Oh, well, would you look at that? I mean, lads, trying to predict when Jordan Ayew is going to score in a Premier League match is usually about as fruitless as trying to predict when Danny DeVito is going to be seen eating a spoonful of broccoli. It's like trying to predict when Steve Buscemi will brush his teeth. And yet, the man who regularly goes on 40-game-plus goal droughts in the Premier League, I actually correctly predicted when he would score, despite the comments trying to tell me that he was off sick with a broken hip. Look, quality win for Chelsea. It was a fairly easy victory in the end, but... Okay, lads, do people not realize that a man just lost his job? Over the weekend, nobody has bothered to notice that poor old Steve Cooper has just been sacked for the second Christmas running. Honestly, after losing his job at Nottingham Forest in December of last year, he has now been squeezed out of the King Power, and no one seems to care. Lads, there's an average as muck Netflix festive film called Christmas with the Coopers. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just handheld footage of Steve repeatedly kicking the Christmas tree and chucking mince pies at his kids. This is 2 Christmases absolutely ruined for this man in a row. I feel bad for the guy. He's gonna have Christmas PSD after this. I mean, if he's lucky enough to be in a job in 12 months time, as soon as he hears a Mariah Carey tune over the speakers whilst he's shopping for chicken pies, he is probably gonna have a fit on the floor. I feel bad that he's got the Leicester City chop and not even Sky Sports seem to care. Christ, well, their only analysis of the situation was just them ringing up someone in a Leicester City tracksuit who's recording himself on an actual potato. I mean, the only way that interview could look less professional is if he was filming himself on the loo. Nobody seems to care that Stevie Cooper is gone. But, can I just remind you of what I said when Leicester sacked Brendan Rodgers? Play the clip.
Brendan Rodgers. The guy's just left Leicester by mutual consent. What we saying?
I think it's actual disgrace.
Really?
Yeah.
Disgrace?
Yes. Who can you get that's better? Leicester will not get a better manager. All right. What they need to do is back Rodgers.
Yeah, True Geordie looked at me as if I just confessed to eating badgers with a fork. Let's see if the comments agreed with me last year.
The Irish guy kinda annoying, I can't lie.
Next?
His voice reminds me of the wee leprechaun from The Simpsons. You should watch his channel, The Irish Guy. He's manic.
Manic? Manic? Do I look manic to you? Look, I was right, because Brendan Rodgers right now is managing a Champions League team, whilst Leicester, who are they going to bring in? Well, look, this is probably the last we're ever going to see of Cooper in the Prem, and I just want to say, I am sorry. I am sorry that I always used to say that he looked like Darth Vader without the mask. I'm sorry for saying that he used to look like if you dropped an anvil on a postman's face, because let's be honest, I look like a dehydrated toad. I was that type of nephew that your fat aunt would simply just pat on the head. So I am sorry for being mean. I also look like I use my face to grate cheese. So I am sorry, Coops. Me telling you that you look like if someone skinned Mickey Mouse. That you look like Smeagol before he found the ring. It was mean. But now that I'm guessing that he's gearing up for a life of championship mid-table mediocrity, this is probably goodbye. Ipswich 1, Man United 1. You know what? Give Alfie his flowers. Play the clip.
I'm sorry, I've got to back my boys here. It's Amorim's first game, which scares me. The new manager bounce. I think it'll be 1-1.
Alfie, well done. You have stolen a quality prediction at the last minute. I thought that the new manager bounce would demolish Ipswich with a spoon. But no. And yes, by the way, there is one more match remaining, but Alfie's not topping this leaderboard. Oh no. I've currently got 42 points. Alfie, 38. That is mid-table mediocrity for you so far, chum. Lads, I thought this was the Jose Mourinho derby. A battle between two managers who used to take notes from him in 2018. Two guys who were probably clinging to his pockets as he walked around the Carrington complex. Two men who probably needed to ask him for permission if they wanted to use the loo. Since Amorim was just a lowly unpaid intern, he probably just made him go on the lawn. But no, I completely forgot. This is also the Roy Keane derby. I had completely forgotten, but yeah, Keane was a horrid, hopeless Ipswich boss. But I didn't realize that the fans still hated him. But yeah, during a Sky Sports gig, he was being screamed at by an angry Ipswich fan in the crowd, and so Keane decided to go full Joe Weller and call him out for a fight in the car park. I love Roy Keane, but you are 53 years old. But look, Ruben Amorim's life in Premier League football was beginning so beautifully. Lining up with his new 3-4-3 system, Amadou Diallo tears down the wing as a rampaging right wing back. He crosses it in for Marcus Rashford to tap up after just 83 seconds. Easy, easy, easy. But no, then Ipswich come roaring back. Andre Onana has to make a stupendously world-class save from Liam Delap. Omari Hutchinson chucks in a deflected equalizer, and honestly, Ipswich could have won and sentenced Amorim to a horror start. But as for Man United fans, they shouldn't feel too deflated by this, because they have been massively duped by the new manager bounce before. I mean, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in and immediately flattened Cardiff 5-1, it tricked everyone into thinking that things were absolutely fine and nothing needed to be fixed, especially when 2 months in he was knocking PSG out of the Champions League. But no, there's no point in Manchester United flattening Ipswich 5-0 and pretending that everything is hunky-dory really. No, you're 12th in the league. That is complete and utter disgrace for Manchester United. Amorim has massive work to do, and let's be fair, this is the rebirth of the 3-4-3. We haven't seen that at Man United since Louis van Gaal, and he left the building 8.5 years ago. Of course, it's going to take these players time to adjust. It is a massive change. Christ, it's a bit like telling someone to suddenly go and live outside. Yeah, it's going to be a culture shock when they're now fighting homeless people for their lunch, when they're now squatting in alleyways and licking magpie poo off an empty box of cornflakes. This is a huge Manchester United change. So to be fair, 1-1 isn't the worst. Well, lads, that mindless oaf was not the only Ipswich fan who tried to ruin the Sky punditry. Oh no, because Amorim, in his debut Premier League post-match interview, he was chatting to an absolute legend like Keane, and then in comes Ed Sheeran. Oh, lads, what is it about Ed Sheeran and his terribly timed cameos? The internet is now complaining about him popping up there the exact same way they were complaining about his cameo in Game of Thrones. Look at him. I don't care that he's the most famous fan in the ground. Why is he snuck into a live television broadcast to awkwardly hug Jamie Redknapp as if he's his dad? Look at Amorim. He has utterly no interest in talking to this Ron Weasley look-alike. I mean, is this what he should expect? I mean, next week, is he gonna have to watch out for Beyonce crashing his interview? If you are mates with Redknapp, chat to him when he's not on live TV instead of awkwardly cuddling him for a full 12 seconds. Yeah, okay, next time Sheeran's at Wembley squawking out, "Take me back to London," Amorim should walk on stage and deliver a full PowerPoint presentation on why inverted fullbacks don't work. He suddenly have hundreds of confused teenage girls trying to boo this awkward dad off stage. Fulham 1, Wolves 4. Play the clip.
Fulham looking really good. Wolves look shocking. However, there's something in me which thinks they're going to get something from this game.
No. Don't say Wolves are going to win.
I know they're away as well. I just call it a divine intervention.
No, Alfie, don't do it. Don't you dare say that Wolves are going to win. Don't do it. Don't. Tipping Gary O'Neill to put another Premier League point on the board is not divine intervention, Alf. It's the sign of your brain rotting like my mum's banana pie.
Okay. What just happened? How on earth did Fulham lose 4-1 to Wolves? This is embarrassing. Absolutely humiliating for Marco Silva. Fulham are flying. And so today, shell-shocked, confidence rocked, relegation battling Wolves team travel to your patch and score 4 when they're being directed by someone who looks like he was peeled straight off the Muppet Treasure Island. Somebody who honestly looks like an unironed sock puppet. This was such a garbage result for the Cottagers. Just gruesome and horrible. Lads, I have been harsh about Wolves all season, right? I've been mean about Gary O'Neill, apparently.
Oh, the Irish guy's hate for O'Neill is so weird. We all love Gary for life.
Look, I've had very few good things to say about Wolves this season, but it's because I am frustrated with Wolves. I'm a man who hates seeing standards slip at football clubs. And lads, I remember when Wolves were the single most exciting ever newly promoted club in Premier League history, exploding into life to immediately qualify for Europe. They were linked with all these massive names. I mean, back in 2018, some were tipping them to sign Yaya Toure. They were even mentioned in the race to rescue Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus. Things at Wolves used to be so hilariously ambitious to a ludicrous degree. I mean, for a team covered in Portuguese flavour, then to be fair, having the nation's literal GOAT in Jose Mourinho, when he was saying in Christmas 2020 that they should now be considered a top 6 team. Wow. So to see them now in the hands of someone who looks like he should be working the McDonald's drive-thru, it is sad. But I will say this, Mateus Cunha is a star. Come on, 7 goals and 3 assists this season, and he's one of the last few remaining morsels of ambition still left at the club. Honestly, lads, Cunha would be a monster January signing for anyone in the league, and I include Man City in that. I think he is that juicy of a player. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest 0. Yeah, I said Arsenal would win this match 4-0, and look at this comment.
I don't expect Forest to beat Arsenal, but it did seem quite clueless and completely lacking in knowledge that he went for them conceding 4, considering being defensively solid as being such a big part of why they're doing so well.
Oh, well, does it seem like it's lacking in knowledge now? Do you still think that they've got the brains of a squashed tube of toothpaste? No, Nottingham Forest are just that team who've had an incredible start to the season, sure, but it will soon fall off quicker than an X Factor winner's career. It happens each and every year. You have a team supposed to be in a relegation dogfight who wind up in the European places around Halloween, but they can't keep it up. And yeah, they will soon start getting slapped into baked beans on toast. The Gunners didn't even need to get a second gear to win this match. Goals from Bukayo Saka, Thomas Partey, and Ethan Nwaneri. Although, can I just say, after becoming the Gunners' second youngest ever Premier League goal scorer after Cesc Fabregas, I want to say that Ethan Nwaneri is sick. And yeah, I realize that me trying to look cool and down with the kids by using London slang makes me look about as cool as Mrs. Bumbleworth. You know, your chubby French teacher who eats chocolate muffins during the class. But lads, still, when Mikeleta introduced this guy to the world as a 15-year-old sub 2 years ago, it could have looked like a freakish party trick. This could have been too much too soon for someone who was probably still writing letters to Santa Claus. I mean, lads, Fulham gave a Premier League debut to left-back Matthew Briggs in 2007, just 2 months after his 16th birthday. Yeah, 10 years later, and the bloke was working on a construction site, probably being peer pressured into wolf whistling at lollipop ladies. But Nwaneri, oh no, the close control, the saucy skill, the bravery in front of goal, the decisiveness. Make no mistake about it, he's going to be a complete superstar. And I'm going to make an early prediction now. I reckon Thomas Tuchel picks him as his maverick wildcard for the 2026 World Cup squad. And I'm telling you now, Nwaneri, this utter child, I reckon he takes Jack Grealish's spot for the 2026 World Cup. I mean, to be fair, Grealish will be on the cusp of turning 31 years of age. And I'm guessing after 15 summers in a row of literally destroying his liver with booze, he's gonna look like Johnny Depp. I know, not Johnny Depp from 20 years ago. Johnny Depp now? Southampton 2, Liverpool 3. Play the clip, play the clip!
You know what? I don't think this will be as easy as people think, but I think Liverpool, I think they'll underperform. After their international break, the players will look a bit tired, heavy, leggy. There will be mistakes in there, and the Saints will be unlucky not to score. I'll go for a really unconvincing 1-0 Liverpool win, Salah with a late penalty.
Was I not correct? Was this not an absolutely leggy, rubbish Liverpool match filled with errors? Did Salah not score a winning late penalty to rescue the Reds after a pretty dreadful performance? Yeah, I know it was 3-2, not 1-0, but lads, Southampton are their own worst enemies. Alex McCarthy, their deputy scene goalie, believe it or not, this grey-haired bag of sand has actually been linked with a move to Liverpool his whole career. Honestly, this guy was heavily headhunted by Brendan Rodgers to come in as goalkeeping competition from Reading back in 2013. He went to QPR instead for the cash, and even as recently as last summer, the Reds were again looking to plop him on the bench. But after watching his awful showing on Sunday afternoon, Liverpool fans really will wonder, what was all the fuss about? Why has there been a McCarthy file in the Liverpool recruitment office for the last 10 years? I think it's time to finally burn that folder in a bin, because this former England international, and yes, I know, England international with a name like McCarthy, don't even get me started. But this was truly hideous. First of all, playing his side is a massive danger with a wonky pass when they are being pressed within an inch of their lives. I mean, yeah, Flynn Downs didn't help matters with a horribly loose clearance straight to Szoboszlai to score. But then the Saints get themselves into a great position after some teenage magic from the sensational winger Tyling Dibbling. They go 2-1 up, but then McCarthy ruins this. A long ball is sent forward for Salah to chase and hope, and McCarthy awkwardly bumbles his way into no man's land before the Egyptian makes an absolute fool of him with just a deft flick of his boot. 2-2, and then yeah, the Reds win a late penalty, and Salah smashes home. But honestly, this bloke on paper, Southampton's third choice goalie when everyone is fit, don't forget. He really did just truly embarrass himself against the only true massive club who've ever shown an interest in him. This is humbling. I feel like when the popular girl in school fancies you when you're 13. Yeah, then she sees you at lunch, getting half your sandwich getting caught in your braces. And to top it off, by half two, you're accidentally wetting yourself whilst halfway through a maths quiz. Yeah, you ain't getting a Valentine's offer anymore. Man City 0, Tottenham 4. What am I watching? Some Premier League results just don't compute in my brain. They don't look right. Like the day Aston Villa stuck 7 past Liverpool just a few hours after Spurs had scored 6 at Man United. But then again, that was back in an era where there were no fans in the stadium, so nuttiness was allowed to unfold. I mean, for goodness sake, 3 weeks earlier, Leicester City had left Man City having scored 5. Those freak results shouldn't really count because there weren't really any witnesses. I mean, they were played in what seemed like haunted houses where you could even hear the linesman sneeze. Well, this for Spurs to rock up to arguably the home of the best team in Premier League history and win 4-0, subjecting Pep Guardiola to a 5th defeat on the bounce? What is going on? This is absolute lunacy. 4-0. James Maddison popping up with 2 on his birthday. Pedro Porro spanking one home against the club who never gave him a chance. And in the final minute, Timo Werner outpaces Kyle Walker to such an extent that he made that right back look slower than your nan to set up Brennan Johnson for a 4th. Lads, I have always been totally sure the City would recover to win this league title, but now, I don't know. Pep has only ever lost at home by 4 goals in 1 game in his career before. And that was 10 years ago with Bayern Munich against a stupendous Real Madrid who had Cristiano Ronaldo in his peak. Instead of now being forced by his producers to make awkward small talk with Mr. Beast on a couch. But this isn't Real Madrid. This is Spurs. A Spurs who just lost to Ipswich at home. This was City's heaviest defeat in any competition since they lost 5-1 to Arsenal nearly 22 years ago. I am shell-shocked, physically confused, because I can't accept what I'm seeing. I cannot digest this. How? The history books are going to show that Spurs in 2023 were 5-0 down after 20 minutes at Newcastle and lost 6-1. And yet, in 2024, they went 4-0 at Man City. It's just, what? Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 2. Lads, this game started so well for me. Play the clip.
I'm gonna go for a narrow Villa win. Nothing spectacular. Palace will put up a fight, with Ismaila Sarr smashing home the opening goal against the run of play before Ollie Watkins levels with Ezri Konsa, netting a late winner from a corner.
The first half of the picture was going swimmingly. This was perfect. Yeah, Ismaila Sarr gives Crystal Palace the lead against the run of play. Then Ollie Watkins levels, but then Palace take the lead with just a Deveni. Talks home their second goal in just his second ever Premier League match. Lads, the rise of the 21-year-old midfielder makes no real sense because this month he's tasted his Premier League debut, he's made his international debut for Northern Ireland, and scored his first Premier League goal. Did anyone think that was on the cards when last month he was captaining Crystal Palace under-21s to an embarrassing 10-0 defeat against Brighton? I'm sorry, but after a ridiculous embarrassment like that, I wouldn't be rewarding any of those under-21 jokes with a Premier League debut. At least not the captain. No, if I was their coach, I'd probably force them to scrub the toilets in TK Maxx in the build-up to Christmas. Then see how much they want their football careers back. Honestly, I would be so disgusted if I was that Palace youth coach. I'd probably tell the lunch ladies to serve them worm pie in the canteen instead. I mean, what must Deveni's head have been like last month after that gruesome match? He'd have probably been sitting on his mum's couch depressed, playing PlayStation in the dark until she shuts off the Wi-Fi after 9. But no, to bounce back like this after a horrible Halloween, where he probably didn't even have the energy to get up and go trick-or-treating with his mates, instead leaving his 5 Nights at Freddy's mask just rotting in the corner of his bedroom instead, after forfeiting a night of collecting Milky Ways and Twixes to now graduate his way into a Premier League starting 11 and to get himself on the score sheet. Wow. Bournemouth 1, Brighton 2. Yeah, Brighton beat Bournemouth. Goals for Matoma and Pedro. And Oni Iriola lost. Next, Everton 0, Brentford 0. Everton are the most boring team in the league. That is their 3rd 0-0 of the season already. Their 2nd in a row. This team has scored 3 goals in the last 6 league matches. Boring! Anyway, that's the video. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. What did you think of the Premier League Gaming? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.